It's my pleasure to share with you one of our signature events of the year, and that's the 2018 Athletics Varsity Club Hall of Fame ceremony. Tonight we honor some of the most accomplished individuals in the history of St. Francis College, Westbrook College, and the University of New England. Before doing so, I'd like to take a few moments to talk about UNE athletics, past, present, and future. We're coming off one of the most successful years in our history, with 4 of our different teams winning conference championships. This past fall, saw our women's cross-country team win its 6th consecutive conference championship, our field hockey team win its 4th consecutive conference championship, and then our women's rugby team, which was in just its 2nd year as a varsity program, won the National Association of Rugby Association Championship. In the winter, our women's basketball team won the conference championship for its 6th consecutive time. And although they came up just short of a conference championship, our men's ice hockey program reached as high as the 4th in the national poll while earning a bid to the NCAA Division III National Championship. We're just 6 weeks into this academic year, and we've already got so much to be proud of. Our men's and women's cross-country teams have combined to win 6 meets, and we've successfully launched our first year of varsity football. I think some of you in this room were certainly at the first varsity home game on September 8th when we played before a crowd of more than 2,000. And then this past Saturday when we won our first ever varsity contest on a last-second field goal for a 44-42 win over Curry College. It's not just our athletics achievements that are so noteworthy. Our student athletes continue to excel in the classroom and are actively engaged in the community. Last year, our cumulative grade point average for our student athletes was 3.25, and 55% of our student athletes made the Dean's List. Countless hours were also spent giving back to the community. One shining example was just these past 2 weekends when our men's and women's lacrosse programs partnered to host Lax for Life for the 12th consecutive season, and this year's event raised nearly $4,000 to push the total to over $33,000 over the 12 years of the program. All the success that we enjoy in athletics certainly would not be able to be accomplished without the support of our senior administration. And it's my pleasure at this time to introduce our president, Dr. James Herbert.
Thanks very much, Kurt. I really appreciate the nice comments. And it's nice to see so many people here, including some familiar faces and some new friends as well. So thanks everyone for coming. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I talk about the importance of athletics to this crowd, right? So I don't need to go into a lot of detail. But just to mention a couple of things about the athletics. One is, as Kurt mentioned, our student athletes are really students, they're scholars first, and they're athletes. And so the nice thing about Division III, compared to Division I, for example, is that the athletes really are in it for the love of the sport. And they're not coming here because of some big scholarship that brought them here that distracts them from their studies, but they really do marriage the classroom with the athletic experience, and they're here really for the love of the sport. Athletics imparts so many gifts to our students. They form camaraderie and a teamship with their teammates that you just don't see outside the athletic programs. I was just talking today, where are the Westbrook basketball players, right? Over there? They're kind of spread around. But I mean, these guys played basketball together at Westbrook College, and you still see the camaraderie that they have today. I was talking earlier with some folks from St. Francis College. This is their 50th reunion, class of 1968. And some of them who played together were talking about it. And of course, we know Coach Beaudry from St. Francis College and the legacy that he left. So, and I see that currently with our current athletes. They really have each other's back, and they form these strong relationships and bonds. So athletics are an integral part of the UNE experience, which is why this past year I spent most of my discretionary funding as president in the development of our new athletic fields. And you'll see, if you haven't seen them yet, the Blue Storm Stadium and the Blue Boat Field, you have to check them out. They're just gorgeous. So I'm very, very proud of our student athletes and look forward to continue supporting them and hope that you all can help us support them as well. And many congratulations to tonight's inductees. Thank you.
And now at this time, it's the most special portion of the evening where we're going to present 5 very worthy individuals for induction into the University of New England Hall of Fame. And first up tonight to present the first inductee is our men's ice hockey coach, Kevin Swallow.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this very special event. Our first inductee this evening is Michael Ferrazzi, St. Francis class of 1978. Mike's 76 career goals, 76 career assists, and 152 career points rank third all-time for the Red Knights. Over his 4 years, he helped lead his team to a 53-27 record and 3 national tournament appearances. During his junior year, Mike earned NAIA National First Team honors. That same year, he also scored the game-winning goal and had a hat trick in the 5-2 win over Hawthorne College, which led to the team's national tournament appearance. In addition to his impressive career on the ice, Mike also played soccer for 4 years at St. Francis. Let's welcome Mike Ferrazzi to the stage.
No cameras, no phones. No. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming. And I just want to say, I want to thank the Alumni Association, the University of New England, St. Francis College, the Hall of Fame Committee for choosing me for this great honor. I am privileged and fortunate to be here. But there's one thing. I didn't know there was a Hall of Fame for academics. Rep set. I would like to thank Chief Gordon Day for all the parking passes, security guard Maurice for saving our lives. When someone was shooting a Nerf gun off, he says you have to go sometimes. Paul Starr for the firewood. And Dickens, Coach Riley's dog, for making us laugh when we put him in Coach Beaudry's car, soaking wet and mud on his paws, trampling around his car. But all kidding aside, to all my teammates, roommates, and friends, if it weren't for you all, I would not be standing here today. Thank you so much. Coach Riley, Coach Beaudry, thanks for giving me an opportunity to come to St. Francis and play hockey and soccer. It was a great ride. I can remember when I was 7 years old as a kid from Framingham wanting to play youth hockey. But my family didn't have the money or the transportation to get me there, and back then there was a waiting list. The first time I played hockey in a rink with boards was my freshman year in high school. Everything else was on ponds. For my kids, they don't know what ponds are. In high school, I got my first opportunity to play varsity as a sophomore when my friend, another teammate, Jack Lowry, was involved in a car accident. I was 130 pounds soaking wet. When I stepped on the ice, I remembered seeing the grin on my dad's face. Hockey became my passion. We went on to win 2 Bay State League championships my junior and senior year. From then, I remembered playing 2 summer leagues. I played in Braintree, Cohasset, sometimes going to 2 games in the same night, driving with my equipment on just to get to the games on time. I joined a health club and started lifting weights, but I still was no more near chiseled like Duff or Tali Tyros. In between my junior and senior year, I played midgets for the Ashland Swampers, and I can remember I was told a scout from the Buffalo Sabres was coming to attending the game to take a look at Ed Lill, another person who was our teammate here at St. Francis. So I had my A game on. I remember scoring a hat trick. And after the game, the coach came to me and said, the scout never showed up. My senior year in high school, I did not know where I was going to go attend college, but I wanted to play hockey. So I started looking at schools where I thought I could play. And then a recruiter from St. Francis called me to see if I was interested in going there, naming a few kids, one from Winthrop named Pete, from Dom Savio High School. And I said to him, "Is that a girls' school?" And then another person named Rich from Arlington Catholic that was going here, and he said it was going to be the first season as a varsity team. So I applied. I had a pulse, and I got in. My freshman year, I was a little scared to what was in my future, but wow, I have met some of the most awesome friends that anyone could ever have, and we are still friends today. Tim, Sheik, Phil, Pat, Deuce, Chick, Duff, Donnie. There's just so many more, and all my teammates over the 4 years. I was so happy making the team my freshman year, playing many minutes. I was just thrilled. I will never forget Coach Riley calling practice one Friday night, and I looked, and he said it was not optional. But I had tickets to a Chicago concert at the Boston Garden. And I asked him if I could go, and he said no. I was kind of shocked at his answer, but I looked at him up and down. I says, "This guy's like ice cream in the desert." I said, so I went to the concert, skipped practice. Well, the next game, he sat me down for 2 periods, and we were losing, so I knew I could help. And I kept asking him, "Can I go in? Can I go in?" Coach stuck to his guns, and I sat there. Taught me a great lesson that I still live by today in work and in life, and I tried to instill that in my kids. You never let your team down. You commit to a team. You live by the rules. Playing at St. Francis College was a great part of my life, meeting so many friends, and many of us still keep in touch today, which is unheard of. Many line mates over my career, Bruggy, Randy, Snowshoes, Murph, and of course, Chicken Hurls and all my teammates. If it weren't for you guys, I would not be standing here today. Scoring a hat trick against Hawthorne to make it to the national tournament was awesome. And then I remember Deuce interviewing me at that game. And I didn't realize that we were on radio, and I said there was a party at my house on 123 Hills Beach Road. Then getting home after the game and seeing so many people there, I said, "Where'd all these people come?" I couldn't even park. I said, "Wow, nuts, just totally nuts." And then they said, "Well, you were on the radio. You told everybody you were having a party." Oh, okay. So, a lot of memories. To fish bowls in Wisconsin with Duff, to the wild times on the bus, talking Coach into stopping at a hotel in Danvers at 2 a.m. Wow, that was simply nuts. I'm sure you can all remember that. And on to Minnesota in the second national tournament. And that weekend, they happened to have a beauty pageant going on there. Remember that? with a bunch of guys, nuts. That was crazy. And Hurls, with the the whole team was pushing the bus to jumpstart it after we stopped at a pizza place, to shoveling off the roof at Biddeford Rink because we were having a hockey game and there was heavy snow on it and we weren't going to play. Are you coming down there to shovel the roof? Are you kidding me? You shoveling no roof. I remember chicking everybody who's up there shoveling the roof. You gotta be nuts. But we did everything to play. Thanks so much for the fun, so many memories, the hard work we put into college to put this St. Francis on the map. Hockey has taken me and my kids both playing and coaching, organizing a St. Francis Men's League with all our guys, playing in men's leagues, the Old Boars Tournament in Maine, playing in Russia, Toronto, New York, Connecticut. We won so many of those tournaments as we all hated to lose. We had great fun. Thanks to all my teammates and roommates, Jack Flynn, Tim, Shib, Pat, Phil, Deuce, and of course, Sue. You were all a big part of my life in those years. Thanks again to the university, the committee, and everyone involved. I am so honored to be here and be a part of the Hall of Fame at St. Francis and UNE. Go Northeasters. Thank you so much.
Our men's basketball coach, Ed Silva, was planning on presenting the next inductee for induction this evening, Gary Kuhn. Unfortunately, Ed had a family situation that developed earlier today, so he sent along his apologies, and I'm standing in for him to present Gary. One of the most prolific shooters in men's basketball history, Gary Kuhn totaled 1,670 career points, which was the third highest total in the Westbrook College record book and fifth currently in the history of our men's basketball program. His total, he ranks tops all times in career three-point field goals with 369, including 10 in his first game as a collegiate player during the 1991-92 season. While he was an explosive offensive player, Gary also excelled on the defensive end of the floor and was named the team's Defensive Player of the Year his senior season. Gary was a vital part of some incredible Westbrook College Wildcat teams. During his four-year career, Westbrook College posted 97 victories and earned 2 Mayflower Conference championships, which led to a pair of trips to the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics National Tournament. He was also a member of the 1993-94 Wildcat squad that was inducted into the UNE Hall of Fame in 2015. At this time, I'd like to please ask Gary Kuhn to come forward.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for this prestigious honor and recognize my fellow inductees. Congratulations to each and every one of you. 3 years ago, my teammates and I, along with our coaching staff, were inducted into this Hall of Fame, and I could not have been more proud. This past winter, Coach Graffam called me and said he had nominated me to be inducted. I've never felt more humble. Humble because there is no bigger truth in sports than there's no I in team. This evening would not be possible without Coaches Graffam, Johnson, Bowers, and Tolan, or each of my teammates. It was a privilege to share the court with each and every one of you. Since learning of my selection, I had the opportunity to reflect on my Westbrook College Wildcat years. And the memories that flooded my mind were not of games, wins, or losses, but meals shared and travels taken. What happened away from the court is what sticks out most with me, and why I think of us more as a family than a team. Without family, I would have never even gotten to Westbrook. The support of my family here tonight and those unable to be here with me this evening made all the difference. There's an advantage to being the youngest. Lots of advantages. At an early age, I strive to exceed the accomplishments of my siblings. Thank you for setting the bar so high. Mom, I can't thank you enough. If there was a Hall of Fame for moms, you would be a unanimous first ballot selection. And finally, to Nancy, thank you for being here tonight and making sure I got my speech written. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Casey Keenan, head golf coach here at the University of New England. It is an honor for me to introduce tonight's next inductee, Owen Lennon, class of 2005. Tonight is a historic occasion, as Owen will become the first golfer to be enshrined in the UNE Athletics Hall of Fame. His career featured 32 rounds, scoring average of 79.97. He owns the program's record for the lowest single-season scoring total when he averaged 75 strokes per round in 2002. Truly amazing. During that season, Owen shot the 2 lowest rounds to this day in school history, highlighted by a 5-under par 66 performance at the 2002 UMaine Farmington Invitational to win that event as an individual. One of the hallmarks of Owen's career was his consistency. He placed in the top 3 individually in more than a third of his 25 events, 9 to be exact, in which he competed during his career, excuse me. After completing his undergraduate degree, Owen went on to earn a doctorate of physical therapy degree from the University of New England in 2007. At this time, I will ask Owen Lennon, please come forward.
So it's always nice to follow up for the with the hockey and the basketball folks. Golf's not quite as exciting as far as the teammates go, but nevertheless, I'll do my best. I had some good rounds out there, but I don't know that it was quite as exciting as shoveling the roof of the stadium. We're fair weather folks, so thanks anyway. I heard humility or humbleness mentioned before, and I think that's a great part of why I'm here today, right? When I received this award or notification of it, I was took a second to kind of reflect back on the success I've had, and I couldn't have had that success without a great deal of support from all those around me, including my little one. You got to come up here? Come on. Say hi. Say hi. She always takes the show. So anyway, thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, to Dr. Herbert, and the group here at UNE, and Coach Smythe, right? Yeah, yeah.
Daddy.
Today's a special day. I feel privileged to be here, and along with all the others receiving this award. It's not often enough that I get to thank all the people around me, most specifically my beautiful wife, Katie, and my family, my son, Brody, and my daughter, Kira, my mother, Kathy, and my dad, Don, my brother, Jeff, and his beautiful wife, Erica, along with my friends that are here, too, the Scotts, my dual golfing buddies in the back, Eric and John, my good high school buddies and their beautiful wives that are with me here tonight. Coach Twaddell, who's not with us here anymore, was almost like a grandpa to me, right? And so I remember I was struggling in one round, and he came up to me, he said, "Owen, golf's like life. You just got to be a little more relaxed and not hold yourself so uptight," right? And I've carried that with me to this day, and that's always stuck with me. Coach Smythe, you've been, a very big supporter along the way when things aren't going so great. Golf's an interesting game, ups and downs, good times and bad, but it always sticks with you that you just have to grind as best you can. My teammate Tristan, where are you? Okay, Tristan Durgan, right? Always made me feel better when he was hooking it left off one, right? But nevertheless, my son Brody, right? Brody, hey bud. What does Coach Will always say to you at jiu-jitsu? Work hard and never give up, right? And I hope that I instill that with my family and my friends, right? We work hard and we never give up. Life was pretty simple back then. The campus has changed a great deal. Driving in, my God, you see how amazing these facilities are. And I'm proud to say that I was a graduate of the University of New England. Persistence is a word that sticks with me, right? We all leave UNE or St. Francis College or Westbrook College with, I think, a great pedigree, right? I've been privileged to talk with people all around the country with respect to my career in physical therapy, and when I say the name UNE, people recognize that with a certain level of excellence, right? And so I think we can all be proud that we're related to this institution as we stand here today. Nevertheless, I won't be too long-winded, but I'd like to say thank you again to the Hall of Fame Committee and to UNE for recognizing me for this award and for the folks that have been with me along the journey. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, good evening. My name is Dan Letelier. I'm the head softball coach here at the University of New England. It's my pleasure to introduce tonight's next inductee, Sarah Warner, class of 2008. Formerly Sarah Hamel, she was one of the most dominant pitchers in the history of our program. Among pitchers over the past 20 years, she ranks first in victories with 45, first in shutouts with 14, and tops in strikeouts with 446. A true workhorse in the circle, Sarah racked up 505 innings pitched. In her rookie season, she posted a 0.75 earned run average, which is the second lowest number known in program history. The following year, Sarah pitched a no-hitter versus Wentworth. At the plate, Sarah posted a .323 career batting average, where she was a two-time all-conference selection as a pitcher. At this time, I would like to ask Sarah Warner to please come forward.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Dan, for the introduction. Thanks to the Varsity Club for hosting this great event tonight. I'm so grateful and humbled to be here today. Since graduating in 2008, it has been so exciting to watch the expansion of this university, as well as the athletic programs here. To be part of athletic history is an honor I'll treasure for the rest of my life. My proudest and most memorable UNE softball game was one in my senior season. We were home hosting Endicott, who, at the time, was an undefeated, absolute powerhouse, 5-time TCC champs. It had been over 7 years since we beat them last. We held our own for a brutal 7 innings until a series of hits by my teammates, Lauren Webb, Katie Morin, and Caroline Engwer, scored us our one and only run of the game. Our defense was flawless. My rise ball and changeup were on point. It was great. We were unstoppable. Our 1-0 win that day was nothing short of a collective and cohesive team effort. My favorite definition of teamwork is the combined action of a group of people, especially when effective and efficient. I couldn't say it any better. To all my former teammates, it was an honor to play next to each and every one of you and to share the love of the game. Your cheers and chatter on and off the field were any pitcher's dream. You guys were encouraging, motivating, and always pushed me to do better. Thank you guys so much. I certainly can't forget to mention my coaches during my tenure, Joan Howard and Charity Kamiri. I always respected and appreciated your professionalism and the way you handled business, but still made it fun for us at the same time. Thank you both for never losing faith in me when I was going the distance on the mound. No matter on or off the field, fans come in all forms and from all walks in life. Nothing could be truer for 2 special fans that would frequently be at my home games cheering my name. My father-in-law, Gary, and late mother-in-law, Karen, were no strangers to UNE programs, as their son, Mike, played 4 years of soccer and basketball. I wasn't their daughter-in-law back then, but the way they cheered for me, you'd never know the difference. Dad Warner, you always sported your beaming smile, while Mom Warner's cheers and chants were distinct, powerfully loud, and oh so proud. She made sure everybody knew no one was going to mess with me. I know she's celebrating and cheering loudly with my family and I in spirit today. My parents, Dana and Ann Hamel, are hands down my biggest fans, supporters, and most influential people in my life. My mom always had the best lunches, dinners, and pickles ready for me after long days at the ball field or long practices in the backyard. Her whistle was, and is still, the loudest around and unmistakable. It's not easy wearing the many hats that is a softball mom, cheerleader, errand runner, lunch maker, laundry doer. Thanks, Mom. You wore every hat so proud, and you made it look so easy. I hope one day I can be as good of a sports mom as you were. I love you. And my dad, a Hall of Fame athlete himself, never once hesitated when his 8-year-old little girl asked him for help learning how to play softball. Then again at age 12, learning how to pitch. This man bought every pitching video there was, studied the game and rule book like it was his job, and made sure he gave me the best of the best. Every afternoon, I'd wait for him on our front steps to get home from work with our gloves and ball in hand so we could go throw. We'd be out there until dark, night after night. Dad, I remember all the pitching clinics, all the summer softball we played, and all the hours spent in the backyard, the tennis courts, the fields, wherever we could go. It was the time of my life. You were a constant presence and my biggest supporter from the start, right through my college career, never missing one of my UNE games. I always looked forward to my blue Gatorade you brought me, and I know you had lots of bazooka gum for yourself. You were my biggest fan, and I hope you know I'm still your biggest fan. I love you, Dad. And last, but certainly not least, my husband, 2006 basketball and soccer alum Mike. I knew my college experience would be unforgettable, but I never imagined I'd be here today because of softball or because of him. I was just a young freshman girl playing intramural basketball in the campus center one night, but secretly I was admiring a tall, handsome referee who happened to be a junior on the men's basketball team at the time. Even all these years later, I still love talking about the classes we took, the professors we had, our favorite memories and games. Mike, our story began here and has grown into the life I always dreamed I'd have. And now we get to share it all with our 2 children. There's nothing that makes me prouder than to call myself your wife, to be a mom to our kids, and to share this incredible life with you. I can't wait to see what's in store for us. Who knows, maybe we have 2 future Nor'easters waiting at home for us. To say the least, UNE has been instrumental for me in my path in life. My education here was rich and diverse. It led me to a fulfilling and successful career as a critical care nurse. It has been such a pleasure to watch the growth of this university, both academically and athletically, over the past 10 years. The football team, hockey teams, rugby, the dental school, the pharmacy schools, it's incredible, it's awesome. I'm so proud to be an alum here, and once again, I'm so deeply humbled and honored to be part of this today. Thank you so much. Go Sox.
Good evening. My name is Heather Davis, and I'm Associate Director of Athletics here at UNE, and I'm here to introduce our final inductee of the evening, former men's and women's soccer coach, Doug Biggs. Doug served in a number of roles at UNE from 1990 until his retirement in 2010. However, he will be best remembered for being the winningest UNE soccer coach, amassing 180 wins with the women's program, 80 more with the men, for a total of 260 wins over his 20-year career. Doug led the women's program to 3 postseason championships, including the university's first ever Commonwealth Coast Conference title and NCAA championship berth in 1999. In 1994 season, saw UNE post a school record 19-1 record on its way to the NAIA District 5 title. We've had some fun memories from those times at our table tonight. On the men's side, Doug guided the Nor'easters to the main athletic conference championship in 1997, when he coached a pair of All-American UNE Hall of Famers, Brian Hill and Gabe Lucas. In 2007, Doug was honored as a University of New England honorary alumnus. I would like to ask Doug Biggs to join me on the stage and accept his induction.
Tough to be last. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee and the university for this honor. It's humbling, I guess, is the best way to say it. I remember when Brian Hill had to get up here and say this. But anyway, it's been, soccer is my life. I did a lot of other things. I had a work-study person here who helped me immensely, and she's back here today. Hadn't seen her in years, but it's been really great. So, first of all, I need to thank my wife, one of the former players with these young ladies out here, told me to remind that I couldn't have done it without her, and that's very true. So, yeah, coaching, it's 24/7. You're coaching all the time, or you're recruiting all the time, and it's always on the go. So there are some people that have helped me immensely along the way here, and there was a young man when I first came that was a tremendous assistance assistants to me, Art Dakota. Now, I'm not sure, haven't seen Art in several years, but he was a tremendous source of energy, and I'm not sure exactly how old Art is at this point, but he's got to be pushing 90. So he's an awesome, awesome gentleman. So the other people that have really been a big assistance, I'm just as I said to Heather, I'm a little fish in a big ocean. You know, I know a lot of people over the years in soccer who are big fish, but people who've helped, and I know a lot of the players who will remember these people that were a big assistance to me, and probably, and I know to them, Todd Sniper was a young man who actually, Todd was my son's age, and played at the University of Maine. I first met him when he was 14. Todd is, I call him Little Napoleon, but he's a great source of knowledge, and he was working with these young people at the time, and tremendous assistance. Another person who was a big help is my son, Andy Biggs, and Andy stepped in assisting with the men's program, and most of you know it's tough to recruit men to this school. It's gotten a little bit easier, I think, but it was hard. But Andy was great, and I think I met with Brian and Kate yesterday. They're in from California, and we were going over a lot of things, bringing back names that I'm like, oh, that left-footed player, Brian, I still can't remember who it is, but it might have been Murray, but he was from Connecticut. But anyway, Andy, and I think the best thing that Brian said, I would probably give all the direction and stuff on the field, and Andy would go help them because he's a very good player, and he was a big assistance to all of the players out here. Whether he might have been the men's assistant, but he helped out with the women's program as well. So it was a great experience, you know, having these people with me. And no coach does anything by themselves. It's the people you bring in to help you along the way. And I think Claire, I've had a lot of emails and Facebook stuff recently. I don't know how to respond because I'm not really that tech savvy. But if it doesn't say comment, I have trouble. And I have to ask my wife, you know, Susan, who is, and she's like, I just told you how to do that. So, but anyway, it's been a great experience, and Claire was the one who said to make sure I mentioned Susan, and also she said it best that it was great that I coached all of you guys, and I said the fun was mine because working with all of you made it just a great experience. So. Thank you very much, and thanks again to the university. Thank you.
Tonight we've celebrated some of the most accomplished student athletes in the history of our sports program, along with a legendary coach. On behalf of the Board of Trustees here at the University of New England, it's my honor to officially induct Michael Ferrazzi, St. Francis College class of 1978, Gary Kuhn, Westbrook College class of 1995, Owen Lennon, University of New England class of 2005 and 2007, Sarah Warner, class of 2008, and Doug Biggs, honorary alumnus 2007, into the UNE Varsity Club Athletics Hall of Fame. Let's please have one more round of applause for these. These 5 individuals join a select group in our Hall of Fame. At this time, I'd also like to recognize other Hall of Fame members who are in attendance this evening. If you are a member of our Hall of Fame, please stand to be recognized. that concludes this evening's program. Depending on which door that you came in when you entered the building, you may or may not have seen our Hall of Fame display. So if you did not enter on the first floor of the main entrance, I would encourage you to stop by and see the Hall of Fame display down there. The 5 inductees from this year, your plaques will be displayed down there, and then next year they'll be moved over with the other members of our Hall of Fame. I'd also like to ask that the inductees stick around just for a few pictures as a group. We'd like to have a group photo in addition to the individual photos of you that were taken earlier after your induction. Thank you all for attending, and please enjoy the remainder of Alumni Weekend.